He says, everybody that I met, I give them your book and tell them make sure I get it back. I say, you're killing me, Smalls. I need my money. But I understand. And I said, let me ask you a question. This is to answer your question. Let me ask you a question. Why do you give my book away? He said, oh, your book changed my life. Wow. Your book literally changed how I approach my business. Your book gave me inspiration. Your book made me believe in myself. And your book made me realize failure was not an option, because that's the subtitle. Think like it when failure is not an option. This book is for anybody who believed that life has dropped them.
Another 100 on the way.
I appreciate your attention. And if you're looking at the number of the episode, then you already know why we're excited. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I want to welcome y'all to episode 50 of the Faith. Yeah, y'all heard it. Put y'all hands together. I told y'all, welcome to episode 50 of the Faith, Fitness, and Flow podcast. And I just got one more thing we got to do. We got to get y'all right, man. Let's get them levels right. Let's get them tunes going. Because y'all, it's been a long time coming. But I know a change gon' come. They said if you build it, they will come. They say just get done with the first 10 episodes. Just click it, just click the button. Then they say, get to 25, that's a milestone. Get to 40, but y'all, I ain't gonna lie, getting to 50 episode has been a blessing. It is a blessing in itself, and I thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in to any episode. If you tuned into an episode, I thank you. If you downloaded an episode, I thank you. If you are subscribed to the podcast, yo, I thank you. Matter of fact, where them podcasters at? And I gotta thank everybody that subscribed to the YouTube channel. We have officially hit 100 subscribers on the YouTube. Couldn't have did it without you. Could not have done it without you. So I thank y'all so much. Yo, I am really grateful to hit that 3 number club. It makes me want to get more focused. Hey, yo, it's kind of okay, stay focused. Got my notes in here. I'm just super excited to be able to hit the 100 subscriber club. That means, we're putting in work with the YouTube, and we don't only put, for those that's not onto the YouTube, all right, please make certain to like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast channel as well. It helps us out. It helps the viewership, and it helps our sponsors as well. They like to see that the podcast is growing, so that way they can continue to pour them dollars in, so that way y'all can continue to get this dope podcast. So make sure you like and subscribe on the YouTube. For those that's like Faith, Fitness, and Flow podcast, but we don't see workouts. Well, it's a podcast originally. So with the podcast, we got to make certain that it's something that everybody that's listening, I'm not going to abandon our listeners. So I want to make certain that if you want to get more of the fitness, make certain you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's where you're going to get the how-to videos. But also what you can do, if you really want to get them fitness, you can subscribe. You can text me. You can text fitness, for those that are watching on the screen, 850-204-3499. You can text fitness to 850-204-3499, and I get you plugged in all things that we got fitness. Like, if you're a Christian, if you love hip hop, if you're not down with this community, I don't know what's going on with you, because we are developing our minds, our bodies, and our soul. So if you're serious about that, just like we are serious about all these 50 episodes that we have put out so far, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like the YouTube as well as this podcast. I'm curious, if y'all can, let me know, where do you like to listen to your podcast? Where do you like listening to your podcast? Like what platform? Spotify? Do you like to just listen directly on the website? I want to hear from you. Like, shoot me go to our Instagram, Faith, Fitness, and Flow Podcast, and let me know. I'm looking at the analytics and it's showing me, but it's not giving me in depth. I want to know my podcast listeners specifically. If y'all can let me know where y'all tune in at. All right, I got something for you if you do that for me as well. Appreciate you. And speaking of things that I have for y'all, I am super excited to let y'all know about today's show's sponsor. And today's show, episode 50, is sponsored by Egypt Fantastic Tours. You know, have you ever thought about the Nile River, the Great Pyramids of Giza, and the Sphinx? Visiting Egypt is probably on your bucket list. But did you know that you can explore Egypt for a week, including a cruise down the Nile, lunch looking out at the Great Sphinx, and more? Group tours and private tours are available. You can get your own driver. I'm gonna repeat that. You can get your own driver and your own tour guide. Stay in a 5-star hotel for 7 days and 6 nights. All of this for only $1,000. It is possible. It is safe. I've been there myself. I've tried it myself. I've used this company, and now we've partnered with the podcast and giving you the opportunity as they're sponsoring the Faith, Fitness, and Flow podcast. Make certain you check out www.egyptfantastictours. That's egyptfantastictours.com. Make certain you let them know that Faith, Fitness, and Flow podcast lets you know about the special offer, and just like that, I'm going to Egypt. And y'all, I'm not just talking about that either. That is a sponsor, but we do have a trip going. So y'all make certain y'all text me. If y'all text me, let me pull up the number on the screen. Y'all text me travel. Text the word travel to 850-204-3499. Text the word travel, 850-204-3499. I actually have a trip going September 25th through October 1st, 2022. So depending on when you're watching this, the price is going up every day. So it's $1,000 right now. 850-204-3499. Text the word travel and I will send you all of the information you need to know, the itinerary, so you can look that over. If you got any questions you want to set up, we can set up a schedule time for you to talk with me. I can talk with you, and hopefully we can get you to Egypt. See you over in Egypt, celebrating my homeboy Keith's birthday. So September 25th through October 1st are the dates that we're doing that. Text 850-204-3499. Now, before we I'm super excited, y'all. Super excited. Episode 50. I really wanted to just jump right into the episode because the interview that we got today, matter of fact, where my book at, yo? Hopefully it don't block out, because for those that are watching, right, I had this great idea of doing episode 50. I wanted to produce it. I wanted to make sure we was on the beach, and then setting up in all of the background, it wasn't working. It was trash. So we're on the beach, right? So for all of those that are watching, the sky, I hooked it up, but I went inside of a building when we were recording. So my green screen is messing me up a little bit, but I do got the book right here. There it is. Think Like It. I put the book in front of my mic. I put the book in front of my mouth, which was in front of the mic. My bad, y'all. But I got it for those that are watching the visual. Think Like It. The author of this book is the guest speaker today, Dr. Carter. Y'all see what I'm talking about with that, with his name. But I wanted to really just jump in and drop this episode, but I had to talk just a little bit because it's episode 50. So I have to thank every person again. We couldn't have been here. I could not have been here without you. I do this for you. God gave me a mission, and I want to pour into you. So if you're a Christian entrepreneur, or you're a ratchet Christian like myself that loves to praise the Lord and sweat at the same darn time, this is the episode for you. You might be like, I'm not an entrepreneur, but I like hip hop, and I like business and I like learning about success and self-development, we for you too. I mean, I personally believe that everybody is an entrepreneur. You just don't know it yet. If you don't identify with it, you have something in you that relates to you in the entrepreneur spirit. So, but I want to help you get self-discipline, want to help you draw nearer and closer to the word, and that is why this episode is called King of Kings. But before I dive into that, I just want to spend a couple of moments, y'all, and highlight a couple of my favorite episodes of the first 50. And if y'all want to go back and check those out, y'all can. I would strongly encourage y'all to check those out, but no particular order. But the first episode that is most memorable, that's what I'm gonna do. My most memorable episodes would be the first episode that I did from a remote location and with another person. Because y'all know we started during the pandemic, so everything that we did was remote. All of our guests was remote. Everything. And it was just me in my own little world. But I went home and I got a chance to interview my mom, and I got a chance to interview my mom. She was the first person that I did an in-person interview with, and I recorded with a person. So that was super memorable. The conversation piece that we had, mom was dropping jewels. That one, we talked about the Titanic. We're talking about the iceberg and the layers. Like, you may see one thing, but there's so much underneath. And she's she don't eat none of that red meat, none of that stuff. So y'all check that out. I'm gonna drop somewhere, maybe boop, then edits pointing to it right there when I edit it. My podcasters, I'm gonna put it in the show notes. So y'all get the episode, that number. Toddy, that one was called the Toddy though. I'm pretty certain TOTI, the Toddy yaddy 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 yaddy. That just yep, tip of the iceberg. That is what that was called. Thank you, Lord. The Toddy, tip of the iceberg. The Toddy yaddy 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 yaddy. So the second most memorable episode, no particular order, would be my first interview that I did with with Miss Say Yes. Miss Say Yes was was our co-host of the Faith, Fitness, and Flow podcast. Shout out to Miss Say Yes, y'all. Doing big things, yo. We got some things cooking up. Got a feeling y'all gonna see her soon. Hey, Miss Say Yes. But my favorite, one of the most memorable was the first episode that she and I recorded in the same place at the same time. I had an opportunity to go to Atlanta, Georgia, and since I was gonna be in Atlanta, she like, yo, let's make it happen. Let's pull up, and we pulled up. We shot that episode poolside. There were some people ended up pulling up. They was acting like they were swimming, but they was really listening to the episode. So that was just a super cool episode. The energy that we had being able to do that episode after months of quarantine, and she was in one state, I was in another state. So that was super dope, just being able to meet up face to face for the first time and work with your co-host. So that was super dope, y'all. And then last but not least, that I'll share today, the third most memorable podcast out of the first 50, no particular order, would be the interview that we did with actor, producer, philanthropist from from America, but residing in South Africa, with Rashad Mayweather. That young man, that my business partner, former business partner, friend, motivation in a jar, you name it, this man has done it. But that interview that we did, reason it was so dope is he actually mid-interview took the camera, went out on his porch and started showing us. He was like, hey y'all, people say South Africa looks like this, but it really doesn't. And he started literally showing us South Africa. So that was that made the podcast technically, I think if it didn't make us an international podcast because we had an international guest, we definitely were international when we recorded the podcast. When we went to Africa last year. So we took the podcast to Africa when we were in Egypt and we had a guest. So either way, the podcast is international, y'all. So I thank y'all. We couldn't have did it without y'all. Thank y'all again. Check out those episodes if y'all have not. Please make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share with a friend this podcast. It's the only podcast where ratchet Christians cannot be judged, and we praise the Lord. We talk about sweating, we talk about praising the Lord. We pick the brains of business people that are not afraid to talk about God and not afraid to talk about the King of Kings. They're not afraid to talk about the King of Kings. And I think this is a great time and a great opportunity for us to transition into today's episode, the King of Kings. But before we do, I gotta pay some bills. So let me talk to y'all. Let me get y'all right, because have y'all heard? There's only one place in the entire universe that's gonna make you decide between popcorn and funnel cake. Or are you gonna have to decide between sweet or savory? These are the decisions you have to make when you're at the only place in the world where it's okay to eat popcorn with a fork. And I'm talking about Pop Fun Chew Cafe. It's a gourmet popcorn and funnel cake cafe that is home to the world famous Wakanda Pop. So if you're in Tallahassee, I need you to pop in to 1316 South Adams Street. Or you can visit online for their shipping venue on Instagram at Pop Fun Chew Cafe. Check them out today. Pop, pop, pop. Tell him your boy Mr. All In told you to pop on in. Alright, so King of Kings, right? I want to talk to y'all real quick before I bring in our guest, before we jump into that and he drop all types of jewels in your notebook, get all the way filled up. I just got, listen, I promise I'm be here for like less than 2 minutes. And I'm going to jump on over to Mr. Dr. Pastor Michael E. Carter Jr., author of Think Like It. A King of Kings. Think of the phrase a King of Kings. All right, just walk with me for a minute. Just walk down the road, okay? So when you think of the term King of Kings, what comes to your mind? Yeah, I want you to say it out loud. Walk with me for a minute. Walk with me. King of Kings. Say it out loud. What comes to mind? The first thing that comes to my mind is if King of Kings means you are first amongst royalty. You have to know your surroundings to know your capabilities. You see, a caterpillar doesn't just fly off. It knows that it's seasons. It knows it has to go through its cocoon season, has to come out and emerge as a butterfly, and then it can fly off. It knows its capabilities. My frat brother Steve Harvey quoted Albert Einstein, where he said, "Imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions." I have a big mind. My imagination is vast. However, I don't want to be a king amongst peasants. I want to be a king amongst kings. If your imagination is the preview of life's coming attraction, if the things that I think become my reality. If I focus my imagination on being the king of kings, of being the queen of queens, of getting the things that I want, of living a life of abundance, I have to start seeing myself as the person that I want to be I have to start seeing myself as the person I see myself in the dreams, with my eyes open. Meaning we're excited when we're in the bed, but then we wake up and we like, we use this term a lot of times, talk about I'm my worst critic. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop using the expression I'm my worst critic. No, you're your biggest fan. We need to get to the point where you're like, you know what? I need your opinion, because everything is, there's an artist that I listen to, right? Whatever. But the song, he'd be like, I have never made a song that I do not like. What? Yes, my man said he ain't never, look, God got me. God gave me all of this talent. If I'm making a song, I don't not like it, so I gotta get your opinion. We gotta stop looking at, I don't want to put it out because I don't think if it's good enough. It's good enough. If God put it in you enough for you to create it and put it into the earth, come on, man, be the king of kings, be the queen of queens. The petty in me almost said be the king of queens. Or be the queen of kings. But yeah, whatever. Stay focused. Enjoy the journey. First of all, think about where you are journeying to. You're on the path to success. You're on the path. You're on the path. You're on the path to success. Your goal is to enjoy the path. Your mission is to remember you're on a path. That means you have a destination. Stop letting the little things that you see on your destination distract you. Make you get off the bus, make you get off the boat, makes you get off the train, whatever it makes you get off the track, whatever your means of transportation on this path. Remember, you are a king of kings. You are the queen of queens. Whatever happens on your path to get there is just in the path. How good it's gonna feel when you understand who you are. So while you're going, enjoy the journey. Think like a champion. And when I say think like it, I think it's a perfect opportunity. I think it's a perfect chance. When failure is not an option, to pick up a book written by an author, written by my mans. Yo, he told me, hey y'all, I'm done. I'm finished, y'all. Y'all already know. Y'all can get the. Y'all already know, man. I'm done. I'm about to bring in the mans of the hour. I'm about to bring in Michael Carter because this interview that we had is so dope. His energy is like mine times 10. How do you do that? I don't know. So I need to let y'all feel him so y'all can get it. But the name of this man's book is Think Like It. I need y'all to think like a champion. I need y'all to think like y'all king of kings. I need y'all to think like y'all the queen of queens. And I need y'all to help me put your hands together because I've dropped the bombs and y'all already know it's time to bring the guest of the hour to the stage. Let's go! I'm giving y'all just a couple of seconds right now to find your pen, find your pad, make certain your pen actually, get another one if you need to, because the person we have as our guest today, listen, is a true, I'm going to call him a true Renaissance man, y'all. You go on his Instagram, you see doctor, you see author, you see podcaster, you see professional speaker. It's almost nothing this man of God does not do. So what I need y'all to do right now, I gave you time time to get your pens. I gave you time to get your paper and make certain it was working. Listen, unless you're a professional texter, you're not going to be able to keep the notes in your phone. So get some pen, get some pad, put your hands together, and help welcome me, our guest of the honor, Dr. He said I could just call him Mike, but I'm going to call her Dr. Michael Carter. Welcome to the Faith, Fitness, and Flow podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Like, what's going on, man? That's what I just want. What is going on today? I know. Well, first, let me back up, y'all. I'm so excited to have him on today, as y'all can see. But I'm gonna shut up because everybody knows I do the most gassing for all of our guests, and they be like, Mr. Harlan, you say everybody is the best of the best. Well, if you're on here, you got to be doing something right. So, Mike, let the people know who is. In the words of Weezy said, Mr. Carter.
Yeah, man, listen, I'm just a servant, man. I always tell people I'm an instrument on the lips of God, and he allows me to go into a lot of places where I'm just able to have an effect. So, I pastor. I always tell people I'm a missiologist. I'm best known now probably as a digital missionary. And so that's what I am, where I'm able to help people take the gospel into places where usually it wouldn't go. So we have a company called CDS that just allows me to be able to do supplements. It allows me to be able to do book writing, publishing, public speaking, a digital platform. Then, of course, man, I pastor one church in 2 states and 5 cities. And so, I'm just trying to get it. So that's who I am.
Hold up. No. You're not about to just, you said you pastor one church. Come on, say that again.
2 states.
2 states. 5 cities. Okay, how? I just want to know, before we even jump into how is that, help me, you got to break that down.
Michigan and Ohio. So,
okay.
I'm at the border of both, so that's not too difficult. And then we are pretty much down a line. So we're able to hit each city. They're about 30 minutes apart. So it just makes it to where, especially for Northwest Ohio, we're 30 minutes from you no matter where you are.
Wow. Okay, so I have a friend that lives in East St. Louis, and so he often talks to me about being right on that borderline. So I get it. I've never been in one of those type of places myself, but at least now I get it. Now you also said a word I don't know. Look, I ain't gonna lie. If I don't know it, I'm gonna ask you. You said you call yourself you're a mission or a missolid. What is
missiologist? Yeah, missiologist. So just a fancy word for missionary, man. Really but not like you think of the word traditionally missionary. So the academics throw something on it, ologist, right? So missiologist, somebody who goes out, plant churches, somebody who goes out, create works and help other people do that same thing. In other words, I duplicate myself so that other people are able to do exactly what it is that I do. And so that's what my passion is on every level. So even in my business, it's all about replication and duplication. A missiologist is somebody that just naturally duplicates themselves.
Wow, naturally duplicate yourself. Okay, now I told you I'm going to deviate from a couple of my questions. I just got to let God do what he does.
For sure.
How do you duplicate yourself? And I'm not asking for myself. See, we got a listener that's driving right now, and she's trying to figure out how you duplicate yourself.
Yeah. So you know what? In church, we call it a fancy word, discipleship. In business, we call it mentoring or coaching. It's the same thing, right? Where you're taking one person and you're literally giving them everything you have. It's as if I'm taking my mind and downloading it into you and splitting myself in half so that you become, in essence, a lot of what I become. It's different for us, though, in our sense when we add a spiritual component to it, though. Because, we talk about mantles all the time on the spiritual perspective, right?
Right.
In business, we never talk about mantles. We don't talk about grace. But there's a such thing as that when you come into relationship with somebody who operates at a different level, you're able to tap into that oil, that anointing, that mantle, that grace is on their life. And that comes into your life, right? And so we see it, man. Powerful text in the Bible. I'm not here to preach, but just let me drop this on you.
Come on,
right?
Come on.
In 2 Kings, we tell the story about how Elijah and Elisha are together, and they say, hey, your master's leaving you today. And he says, eventually, what do you want from me? If you're with me when I leave, you can have it. He says, I want a double portion of your anointing. And then when the chariot comes, the Bible says his mantle falls, then he strikes the water and he does what his mentor did before him, right? We know that story. But most of us never come to John 14 in the New Testament, where he says, in my Father's house, there are many mansions. If it wasn't I saw, I would have told you. We hear that every funeral we go to. But the word mansions there mean mantles. So in my Father's house, there are many mantles, right? And so all of us are gifted. All of us are graced to do something. So when you come into my life and I start to coach you or build you or mentor you, you should get some of that mantle that I have to unlock who you are.
So, pardon my ignorance, what does mantle mean?
Yeah. So really it's grace, anointing, purpose, destiny, gifting, skill, strength, purpose. All of that help represent mantle or what you are. So if I'm a coach and you want to be a coach, I can unlock coaching in you, right?
Okay.
If you're a speaker, or if you want to be a speaker and I'm a speaker, I can unlock that speaking in you because that's what I do. Now, if you want to be a chef, I can cook, but I'm not a chef.
Okay.
So I'm not going to unlock chef in you, right?
Okay.
I can only unlock what's inside of me.
Wow.
Here's one of our problems.
You go in there. Go ahead.
So here's one of our problems in business and for most of our guests, and that is they're looking for something to be unlocked from someone who don't have the ability to unlock it. So we go to relationships that have gifts and talents unlocked, but the person you're seeking to help you haven't reached that level of gifting to do it for you. So you're going to the wrong doors.
Hold on. I'm writing that down. You said we are looking at people to unlock something.
Yeah.
That don't even have the key.
Yeah, they don't have the ability. They don't have the key. They don't have access themselves. And so you go to a coach and you don't get success because that coach didn't have access to unlocking it. I believe there are people in your life who are designed and destined to unlock things in you. And here's the ancient proverb.
Don't jump over that. Don't jump over that part. Say that again. Somebody missed that. That was good.
There's people in your life who are designed and destined to unlock something in you, right? They're designed to do it. And here's the key. Here's the ancient proverb. When the student is ready, the teacher will come. So when you're at the wrong door, when you're with the wrong person, you're wasting time because that person wasn't destined to unlock it for you. That's why you've been trying to do the same thing and it hasn't worked. And then one person can say something in passing and unlock it because their voice was assigned to you.
Their voice was assigned to you.
Was assigned to you.
That you are on one. I ain't even hit none of my notes yet, y'all. But this is okay. All right. So since we want to talk about unlocking, certain things are designed. What does beast mode mean to you?
Man, so listen. so shout out to my team. This week we dropped a new thing called Stuck in Beast Mode, man. Stuck in Beast Mode. We got hoodies and t-shirts, merch coming out with it. In fact, we got a course that's going to come out this summer called Stuck in Beast Mode. We're releasing Quantum Leap. Now, here's what Beast Mode means to me. Beast Mode means to me when you reach a level of intensity that causes you to have success when failure is not an option, right? When failure is not an option, right?
Okay.
So beast mode will cause you to be locked into a zone, right? Will lock into a mode, will lock you into a place where you will go 100% because you know failure is not an option.
When failure is not an option, you get locked in, listen, it's only one way to go is up. So you've touched on beast mode. You've dropped some jewels on us. What would you say is your life calling?
My life calling is to make sure that I help other people unlock their potential, period.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if it's spiritual. It doesn't matter if it's natural. It doesn't matter if it's business. It doesn't matter what it is. My job is to help you unlock your potential. And my goal is to die empty, to make sure that when I'm gone, I've given everything I have 110%. And I leave myself by duplicating in so many ways that generations from now, they talk about Dr. Carter. There was this guy, fat bald head man, I always jokingly saying, Dr. Carter unlocked this. He said this, he said that. And that is my life's goal, is to unlock so many things for so many people that at some point my name is still going and I'm even not here.
Wow. Okay, so that is a perfect transition to my next question. What is your superpower?
Man, my superpower is to help you see before you see, right? So giving you, I call it X-ray vision. It's funny you ask that question because I tell all my children that, we have superpowers. We
Okay.
have this gifting, right? We have this supernatural blessing from God that allows us to see it before we see it. We're visionary. So my superpower is vision. I'm a visionary. I have vision. I can see things before they happen. I understand skill sets. We jokingly in my house call me the king of the pre-sale, right? I can see it before it happens. And I remember I told my son, hey, I'm gonna write a book. It's gonna come out on this date. And he was like, how can you say that this book is gonna come out on this date? I'm like, because I see it before I see it, right? I know when it's gonna happen. I know what steps it's gonna take. I know the process. I now have the vision. If I have the vision, then I can do exceedingly abundantly above all that I ask, or even think. So therefore, I have this ability to do that. I can do that for me. I can do that for you. I can do that for anybody around us, right? I can get you so hyped that you'll run through the wall, right? And that takes a visionary to do that, to get you stuck in beast mode, to get you electrified, to get you ready, to make you want to do things that's incredible. Listen to this. I remember getting in trouble. I was 5 years old, right? My mom asked me 2 questions that I got in trouble for. One was, what did I want to be when I grow up? And I wanted to be a bum. All right. Wow. We laugh to this day. I wanted to be a bum. And she said, why do you want to be a bum? I was like, because everybody blesses the bum. They give him everything. Whenever he asks for stuff, people give. I didn't understand, man, right?
Yeah.
You hear somebody like, oh, he's a bum. Well, hey, everybody's blessing him. I want to be him. Right? That was funny. Here's the second thing I got in trouble for. I told my mom this, and I said, listen, Mom, I can sell a naked homeless woman a kitchen sink she don't need. Right? And I got in trouble, but she didn't understand the gifting of what I was saying. Right. And I stand to this day, right? Because here's the point. I can sell someone something they don't need because I'm a visionary. It's not really selling you. It's getting you to buy into your own destiny, buy into your own purpose, to see a problem, fill it with a voided need, and then move you forward. And that's my superpower.
So you said finding a problem. Because we often hear about this as business owners, as just individuals, it's always about finding this problem and solving it. What advice would you give to a Christian entrepreneur that is trying to find a problem in their specific niche?
2 things. Number 1, listen. When you listen, right, opportunity will present itself. One of the biggest problems we have as Christians is we're always looking for vision. We're always writing vision. We're always looking for what's next, and we never stay in the moment. So learn how to listen in the moment you're in. That's number 1. Number 2, learn how to give back. So the way that you get forward is giving back. When you start serving people and you listen to their stories and you're not just there to get something from them, but you're actually doing ministry, you'll begin to see certain needs become repetitive. They'll repeat and repeat and repeat. And it's in that you find a problem. So just listen, be in the place, right? You all know the story, Matthew 28:18, right? All power in heaven and earth has been given unto me, make you disciples, right? And then it says, go make disciples. The actual Greek in that text is as you go. You're going anyway. So as you go, right? Don't go look for it, but as you're going, pay attention. Right. And so that's what I want to tell to a Christian entrepreneur is pay attention, listen, and give back. And in doing that, you're going to find the problem, and whatever you're gifted to do, that's it. And then here's a bonus. Whenever you're looking for an answer and you can't find a solution, chances are you're the solution. Whenever you're looking for an answer and you can't find a solution, chances are you're the solution. So God has put it inside of you. Yeah, God's put it inside of you to solve that problem. So go get it.
I got to write that one down. When you're looking for an answer and can't find it, you're the solution.
Yep. You are the solution.
I just got goosebumps. I felt it, y'all. I guess if this interview wasn't for nobody else, this interview was for me and mine alike. And if you're watching this podcast, y'all know we're alike. So you've been looking for You've been looking, and searching for an answer. That means it's time for us to reflect in. So,
Absolutely.
how do you reflect in though?
Yeah, so here's a couple things that I do that may seem old and cliche-ish, but it's just what I do, right? Number one, you need to end your day 15 minutes every day just writing. Just write. I don't care what you write. I don't care how you write. One of the leading psychologists or psychiatrists in Northwest Ohio dropped this tip on me some time ago. He said, Mike, just write every day 15 minutes and empty yourself out. Just empty yourself out. We were working together on a project, and I was just telling him how I had so much on my mind, and I was just trying to get it all out. He said, write it. It doesn't matter if you write about the project. Doesn't matter if you write about going fishing. Doesn't matter if you write about your children. Just write. You're not even going to use what you write. You're just writing, right? And then you're going to meditate, and then you're going to go to sleep. Why? Because now what I have done is I have dumped all the fluff from my brain. So now when I go to sleep, my dreams, when they start to deload, those dreams are more synchronized, right? Those dreams have more rhythm to it. So now when I have one of those dreams where I just know that was God, right? Like I don't have to determine, was that spaghetti? No, I know that was God. I can move on this because I practice deloading. So that's one of the things you got to do. You got to deload so you clear your mind. Because when you sleep, most people don't realize your mind starts to deload everything from the day, right? It's detoxing. So your dreams become scrambled and mixed and have all kind of craziness going on because it's detoxing. So the art of putting hand to pen, literally put the pen to paper, causes your mind to detox, right? Like a pre-detox before you even go to sleep. So those inner thoughts, those inner ideas, that inner conscious begin to come forward. And I'm all about positive vibration, the inner consciousness coming forward so that God can speak to me at my naturally grounded place. So that's number one. You're reflective now because when you wake up in the morning, and you practice just a few deep breathing exercises, take 5 minutes, sit on the edge of the bed, wake up a little bit earlier, deep breathing, reflexive breathing, reflective breathing. There's a whole lot of breathing exercises you can do that will cause you just to calm down a moment. So now when I'm walking and I'm thinking, I'm at peace with myself. So now I have good positive ideas, good positive thoughts, right? Things are flowing out of my mind and my heart. I'm in my bag, right? So now all of my thoughts that's coming to me is about how I'm going to increase, not about my problems, my adversity, or my frustration. So now there's no anxiety, there's no worry, there's no depression, there's no frustration, there's no roadblock. My thinking is flowing and I'm fresh. I know that's probably more than you wanted to have, but hey, that's what it takes to be reflective.
Oh no, you gave me. Listen, I'm just shutting up, jotting down notes. I told them to get their pens and paper out, and I'm sitting here jotting down notes too. Myself, okay, let me. All right, this was at this time step right there, so we can come back and listen to that one. Time, little hack, y'all. I learned this one. Timestamps. Okay, when you can't write down fast enough, just tap the phone, tap the computer, wherever you watching that, and you'll see. Oh, that was at minute 45. Da 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 da. Timestamp it. So then when you can go back and you can look. We're giving y'all, look, that's free game we giving to y'all.
Yeah.
So I like that, Mike, because I never, I've personally never practiced the writing at 15 minutes to deload, as you said. I think that was cool. I've always heard, and I started the beginning of this year to start my day with writing. And so I have an intentional morning routine. So, do you have a morning routine for success? You done told us how to deload at the end of the day, but what about starting the day? Because millionaires always say you read everything is, how you start the day is how you become successful. So, what would you say is your morning routine for success, and or what advice would you give to us to have to supercharge the start of our day?
Yeah, so I have a two-part day. I don't know if I'm the best example to follow, but I'll tell you this. E.T., shout out to E.T. E.T. Is the master of creating this idea of never letting the competition outwork you. And I already had that mentality, right? I'm the guy that's on the treadmill, and if you get on the treadmill next to me, I don't care how long I'll be on it, you getting off first, right?
Okay,
like I'm just that super competitive, right? So once I heard he woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, I made sure I woke up before that, because I wanted to make sure that, hey, if I'm going to catch, let me catch the best. I'm not trying to catch Joe Spo. I don't know. If you number one, then I'm catching number one, because I refuse to be number two. So the first thing that I did was I started practicing waking up at like 2:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And I know it sounds crazy at first, but there was two things that I learned. Number one, the news is different at 2:30 in the morning. So when I'm watching CNN or Fox News, it changes to world news. So now they're covering what's happening in the world. That was important to me. And the reason why that was important to me was because I wanted to begin to do business with various commodities and organizations that were in other parts of the world. And I realized they're up while we're sleeping.
Yes.
They're doing business while we're sleeping. And therefore, if I want to do business with them, I needed to start working on their clock. So I wake up for a couple hours. And it's at that point that I'm reading, I'm writing, and I'm meditating. I'm literally reading, writing, and meditating. Okay. So I'm reading, and I'm not even reading my spiritual stuff at this point. I'm reading my business. I'm reading my hardcore stuff, my leadership stuff. I'm reading my own stuff. I read a lot of my own stuff. I ain't gonna lie to you. I write a lot, so I read a lot of my own things because I need to remember what it is that I'm doing and live by my own principles, right? So I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm meditating. Then after a couple hours, I'm going back to sleep. When I wake back up, right? So now I can wake up later.
Okay.
Right? When I wake up later, get my kids off to school, get them all settled and do what they're going to do. Listen, I'm going to Starbucks every day and getting oatmeal, right? Every day I get oatmeal from Starbucks. Every day I'm getting a peach iced tea lemonade, and I'm drinking that every day. And while I'm doing that, now I'm in my spiritual bag. Now I'm sitting literally writing my devotion for the day. I write my morning prayer. I literally write it. Let me give you this tip. Here's some free game for you.
Okay.
By writing my prayer, I'm literally, watch this, putting a mark where I want God to move in my life. So now when I get frustrated, and now when I have a moment where I'm not sure where God is, where I can't trace him, when I'm trying to trust him, I can make the mark bigger by going back and look at the written prayers and say, he answered this, he answered this, he answered this, he answered this, right?
Okay.
And that gives me fuel to say, I might feel heavy, but keep pushing. Because I can go back. I got time stamps on, I prayed this 2 years ago. I prayed this 6 years ago. If he showed up then, he's going to show up now, right? And so it helps me see that. It also gives me an opportunity to see how selfish I may be in my prayer life. Am I praying for stuff that I want, or am I praying to make an impact?
Ooh, prayer for yourself or for impact?
Yeah.
I got to write that. Praying for self or impact.
Yeah. So now when you start praying for impact, you'll begin to see not only does your wants change, but your assignment expands.
Okay.
Right?
Break that one down a little bit for us.
Okay, so here it is. So I may want to be on bigger stages.
Okay.
If I'm selfishly praying for being on bigger stages just for my name to be great, it's probably not going to happen.
Okay.
Right? Because I'm trying to line my own pocket, but I understand currency comes from the root word of current, and therefore it's supposed to go through me.
Okay.
So now if I'm praying, asking God to put me in a position to bless my community by using the gifts I have, right? I start planning events that'll allow me to bless my community, not just in a church setting, but in a personal setting. How can I put on events, and how do I build products that bless my community and give back? So now by doing that, I'm able to have an impact in people's lives, right? And that's what you want to do. You want to be able to create products that's going to have a larger impact in your community. And therefore, by giving back, my assignment expands.
So is it, based off of what you just said, is it safe to say event planning, then praying, is praying with impact?
Yeah, you can probably safely say that for sure. You definitely, intentionality for sure is definitely praying with intentionality. So listen, I plan so many events within a year, and more than half of the events that I plan are free.
Okay.
But I make more money than most paid speakers. Right? Because remember, low barrier of entry, right? Low barrier of entry onto the freeway means they're on the freeway. Once you're on the freeway, you need an exit ramp to get off.
Ooh, low bit. That was, hold on, where my button? I need that one again. I need that. Listen, I could walk out of the building off of that one. You said low barrier. Give me that one again. Low barrier gets them on the freeway.
Yeah, low barrier. Yeah, you got to have a low barrier of entry. So you got to give them access, right? An entry ramp, an entrance ramp onto the freeway. But then once they're on the freeway, they're stuck until they get an exit, right? You've been on the freeway before.
Yep.
And you've been like, man, I need to go to the bathroom, but there's no exit. I got to ride this thing out.
Right.
So once you give them a low barrier, an easy way on, but don't make it easy for them to get off. Right. And so you create these events and these products that stair step. Yeah, you can have your high ticket dollar items, right? But most people who are engaging with you for the first time are not about to invest a lot of money into a high ticket item. So what you have to do is you have to have processes for them to get to the high ticket item. So I know a lot of people start with the high ticket item and try to get you to come back. But if you don't buy the $1,000 course, you bought nothing, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I'd rather you buy the $15 book, right? Buy the $15 book first, right? Come to the event. When you came to the event, I might even give you the book free a lot of times. Here, you can have it. This is a business card. This is the best business card I have, right? You want the book, you can't afford it. I'm not going to tell you can't have it. Here, I'm going to give you that book. Here's what I need you to do for me, though. I need you to write me a testimonial. In fact, I want to interview you when you tell me how well from that testimonial. I want to interview you about how great the book was. And I want to take that and I want to put it everywhere, right? Because now you're a Raven fan. You're part of my tribe. You're part of the crew, right? Now I've done that. They're family. So now they're like, yo, that's a dope t-shirt. Can I buy that t-shirt? Can I buy the hoodie? Well, the hoodie's $60. Listen, I'll give you 15 for 60 all day.
All day.
Right? Now, once they put my brand on their body, right? They're wearing my brand. You mean to tell me they're not going to go to the next level with me? Hey, so listen, we're going to have this masterclass. Masterclass is $99. You should jump on. Yep. So now they're in a $99 masterclass, right? So now they want to be part of the community. Be part of the community is $200. Now they're going to be a part of the community. Oh, I don't have $200 up front. No problem. Hey, you pay $25 for the next 4 months, for 8 months. Now I got them with longevity, right? I got them with continuity. So you got to begin to understand that process. However you do it, that's how you begin to get them in. And it's just, before they know it, they're spending money with you every month.
Okay.
They're not spending a one-time pop with me. So now you're part of my plan. If I duplicate that 10 times every week, right? I done did that 40, 50 times in a month. I'm making the same money the guy that wanted to charge $1,000 was making. And I'm doing less work because the raving fans is getting their fans for me. They're bringing their friends to me, right? Because you got to remember, I have deep leverage on ground. I have less leverage digitally, but yet I have high digital success.
Listen, y'all, jewels on jewels on jewels. So I'm stuck. I got a couple more questions for you. Okay. But you brought this book up, and I've seen it on your Instagram. Can you talk to us a little bit about this book? Like, who is this book for? Why did you write it? Can give us a free game on the book?
Let me bless you. Let me really help you out with this book.
Okay.
I wrote this book 16 years ago.
Wow.
And then life crashed. I was on top of the world, living high on the hog. Life crashed. I actually had to live my book for the next 10 years. Right?
Okay.
So I had to live everything that I wrote about. God has a way of doing that in your life. I had to live everything that I wrote about. And then I rewrote some things because there was some outdated stuff in the book. So I went in, fixed it, cleaned it up. I released the book. But in between the initial writing and the release, I gained like 4 degrees. Right? I always jokingly say your boy got more degrees than a thermometer. Right? So I went and picked up 4 more degrees. So the book doesn't sound like Mike in 2022. It sounds like Mike in 2006, right? So here I go. I'm selling the book. You know, we released the book. I have a friend. He has an event, a leadership event. He asked me to come in and speak. We take his event over, drop my book at his event, right? That's a secret that, you'll learn later. Hey, you can set up a book release. And then I dropped it before my own release and created more buzz. And so we were able to do that. I sold it to a friend who's a big time doctor, theological doctor, and he says, hey, the book is cool, but it ain't you. Like it's not what I expected. And it crushed me.
Right.
It crushed me because you don't want everybody to love your stuff. This person is really extremely close to me. So we stopped pushing and promoting the book for several years. Like it was still selling. People were still bringing me, but we weren't out pushing it. We started pushing all our other product because I let somebody make me walk away from the thing that I gave birth to.
Wow.
And then, listen, check this out. So I do a mastermind class. And when I do the mastermind class, one of the students come in and he has this binder. And I'm like, yo, you brought a binder to the mastermind class? That's dope. You about to take some incredible notes, right? You think he about to take some major notes. He said, no, doc. He says, all this is you. I said, what? He said, I created a binder, a workbook since you don't have a workbook.
Wow.
I created a workbook since you don't have a workbook. I bumped into somebody else. He did the same thing. And then he told me, he said, listen, everybody at major DJ, BET Awards, BET Rap Awards, he does all of that. He says, everybody that I met, I get them your book and tell them make sure I get it back. I said, you're killing me, Smalls. I need my money. But I understand. And I said, let me ask you a question. This is to answer your question. Let me ask you a question. Why do you give my book away? He said, oh, your book changed my life.
Wow.
Your book literally changed how I approach my business. Your book gave me inspiration. Your book made me believe in myself. And your book made me realize failure was not an option, because that's the subtitle. Think like it when failure is not an option. This book is for anybody who believed that life has dropped them. This book is for anybody who believe they need to restart or get started. This book is for the average Joe, especially a Christian who says, hey, I think I want to do something, but I'm not really sure if I can. I'm not really sure how to go do it. This book is for them. This book is not for you if you think you're an expert. This book is not for you if you think you're great. When I initially wrote the book, I thought about it. I thought about my grandmother, who at the time, right, was struggling with some health issues. And I said, my grandmother dropped out of school in the 3rd grade. I can either write this book at my educational level, or I can write this book where everybody can read it. So I chose the latter. But I still put footnotes in it.
Still got the footnotes. I love it. I love it. So I got to ask a selfish question. How can I get a book and get it signed?
Just text me your mailing information. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, it is, y'all.
Yeah.
Closed mouths don't get fed. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I got.
Hey, here's where I'm going to get in trouble. Here's where I'm going to get in trouble. Real talk.
Okay.
You'll be the first person I gave it to.
Wow.
I've made everybody in my life, I don't care who you were, buy it, but I'm giving it to you.
To God be the glory.
Yeah.
So now everybody else is listening to this and they like, hold up though. He getting the free book and all, but they want to support. So how can others buy the book or support the book? Where can they get it from?
Yep. They can go to carterdevelopmentsystems.com. carterdevelopmentsystems.com. And I'm gonna do something for your audience. I'm writing myself a note right now.
Okay.
This is hot off the press.
Yeah.
I am going to discount the book $5.
Ooh. Exclusive for the Faith, Fitness, and Flow podcast, y'all.
$5. I will discount the book $5. Here's what they got to do. They're gonna have to put in the code "Go Big."
Go big.
Go big.
Y'all heard it.
We believe. Go big or go home. So
go
big.
Big. And y'all know I like that. That's what we doing. We go big and do. My slogan. I say we go all in or nothing. You sitting at the table. It don't matter what hand it is. We going all in. So y'all make certain, and that's on your Instagram also, right? Can they get to it from your Instagram?
Yes. Yep. Hit the link on my Instagram, Dr. M.E. Carter. It'll take a right to the page. And there's a lot of stuff there. You know, I know you guys are into fitness, so supplements are there. Pre-workout, protein powder, all of that, man. My son holds world records in weightlifting and bodybuilding. So that's what we do. You know, here's a secret. A lot of people don't know. One of the ways we've built our ministry is in the gym. Ooh, people don't know that. Wow. We built our ministry in the gym by creating a small group around working out.
Built the ministry in the gym. That is okay. See, we're gonna have to talk offline because I got a couple of projects that I think that really could line up. It's like it's a reason that God be having us have these conversations and bringing these guests on. So I just have a couple more questions for you, and I promise I'm gonna let you go. But you mentioned fitness, and this is the Faith, Fitness, and Flow podcast. Does mental health and fitness have anything in common?
Man, mental health and fitness have everything in common.
Okay.
Everything in common. So, honestly, I call it my second life because I wear so many hats, but I am the director of health equity for the mental health board here in Lucas County.
Okay.
And so I believe that, and my son just released a book last Sunday called Healthy Headspace.
Okay. Healthy Headspace.
Right. To help you understand how working out can help you get into a healthy headspace. Here's something that we found out. If you were dealing with anxiety, right, this fight or flight mode, the way to get out of fight or flight was to go take a run or to go lift weights.
Okay. Okay.
because you can literally switch your system. You're gonna hear stuff about the Vegas system and all these other things you can do, and that stuff is true. But if you were to go running, go jogging, go work out, you actually would put your body into that calming mode because you would burn off all that excess energy that your body was trying to produce. And so, actually keeping a fitness regimen will cause you to have less panic attacks, will cause you to have less stress, will cause you to have less body aches, will cause you to feel more freer, more holistic. And so, there's a complete connection to that. So, now if you add meditation and prayer on top of that, right? Now you're all of a sudden living in a place where you're more comfortable, more holistic, and more free. I can go all day about that.
Y'all see, I do my research, y'all, and I'm starting to find buttons that we can push to really get y'all that good juicy stuff from our guests. So I want to know, how can we support you? You've given us so much. You've talked to us about the book, but what do you have going on? So if somebody is listening to this now and within the next 6 months, how can we support you today?
Go to the website and keep up with what we're doing. Subscribe to the web, subscribe at the website, follow us on social media. One of the things that we're doing right now is we're in this zone of doing master classes. It was a play we ran. We made a mistake actually in the play that has caused us to have to keep running the master classes. I won't say cause us to have to, but put us in a position where we had to run another. And it was like,
Okay.
yo, we're going to keep running these, right? So we're doing these master classes where I'm bringing on special guests. We're going to bring you on there, special guests, and we just giving away game. Like, we're just giving value. We're not selling you anything. At the end, I'm going to let you know what things we have available to you, but it costs you nothing to get on,
Okay.
right? So it's another way that I'm giving back, giving you access to the freeway, right? And so just connect to the website, connect to us on social media, buy the book, right? I tell everybody this buy the book. You want to know a lot of things, it's in the book. Really, it is. A lot of stuff that I put together. And then we got a couple of boot camps coming up for speakers. We got boot camps coming up for authors. And then we're going to do a major event when we do. I got a new book coming out this summer. We're going to do a major event. And this is going to be crazy because it has no theme. It has no theme. But we're going to do a major event where we talk about mental health. We're going to talk about fitness. We're going to talk about business expansion. We're going to talk about reaching your dreams. And I'm bringing a whole lot of special guests with me to help you leave out with a blueprint, a workbook on how to build your business step by step. So if you feel stuck, you want to connect.
Listen, just send me those dates if you don't have them already. I'm gonna have to put myself into place if my calendar doesn't. Listen, if it's an open date on calendar, I am there. If y'all got an open date on y'all calendar, y'all make certain y'all look out for that because we will let y'all know when that is coming. So the last thing that I have is, I don't want to end the show, but we gotta let the people go. What advice do you have, or as I like to say it now, I've been chilling with my young crew. What sauce can you give us that a person probably would have to sit down and pay a consultant fee with you to get this free, to get the game? So in closing, can you give us some sauce to the Christian entrepreneur that they loving what you're saying? They just need something to get them from here to a constant cash flow.
Yeah. Number one, believe in yourself. Add value to yourself, because how can I invest in you if you don't know your own value? So how can I invest in you if you don't know your own value? And then don't be the cheapest in the market. So that's why I told you to believe in yourself, add value to yourself, because then your prices will reflect the value you've placed within yourself, and you'll create a red rope policy. That red rope policy means that every client is not your client. They may want your product, but they may not be the person you want to have your product. See, I don't want everybody to have my product because they don't have the right integrity, they don't have the right morals, they're not the right type of person. So I don't even want to do business with you. I don't want to coach you. I don't want you to tell anybody I've coached you, because if you tell somebody I coached you and you have poor integrity, that means I have poor integrity. And so that's not how I'm cut. So definitely create a prototype customer and client, and then begin to look for that client. Begin to look for that customer. And then here's the free game. The free game is, don't wait till you build a thing to sell the thing. Don't wait till you build the thing to sell the thing. Yeah, you got 2 minutes for a quick story?
Yeah, go ahead.
So here's what I did. I had a masterclass Thursday night. We knew we were dropping new merchandise, so I already had the design for the new T-shirt, the Beast Stuck in
Okay.
Beast Mode T-shirt. I already had the new design for the T-shirt put in place, and so here it is. I'm thinking I got an hour and a half before the broadcast, and I'm like, "Yo, load everything up. Tell my team, load everything up on the website. Make sure it's all visible. We're gonna drive into this new merchandise. We're gonna drop it at the masterclass. It's supposed to drop Sunday. Let's drop it at the masterclass. We're gonna have a captive audience. Why not?" And I'm driving. I'm thinking to myself, that ain't good enough. That ain't good enough. Here's the play. I know there's a guy in the mall who can press shirts.
Okay.
Let me go see if he can press this shirt in a couple minutes. I got 90 to be ready to go. Run to the mall. Yo, can you press this shirt for me? I need a T-shirt and a hoodie. He was like, absolutely. Give me 5 minutes.
Right.
Kid you not. Texting it to him. I airdropped a picture to him. He
Okay.
puts it on the T-shirt. I wear it in the event. Right? I got people in the room with me, and before I even get logged into the event, I sold it in the room.
Wow.
I sold it in the room. It's not the one in the website, right?
Right.
So now I got two versions of the hoodie, right? So I got the cheaper version, the mall, because that was a heat transfer,
Yep.
and I got the drop ship version I don't ever have to touch.
Mm.
I'm running myself right now. Listen, you got to get this thing. So here it is. I'm pre-selling the shirt because we haven't loaded it to the drop shipment yet. We loaded it to our website. We was going to do the drop shipment later. Remember, we weren't dropping the Sunday.
Right.
We sold shirts before we ever even were set up to sell them.
Wow.
We pre-sold the shirts, right? So now, today, I probably sold 20, 30, 20, probably 20 shirts today, right? 20 shirts today. We pre-sold, right? Because we don't have them, but they know they can see me to get them, right? So we just set it up to where, hey, we had this mock-up because now I got them in hand. I can take the mock-up and sell the shirt. It's really simple. That's a shirt, but I'm doing it with the pre-sale of our course. We're pre-selling the course right now. We're pre-selling everything. So I just gave you free. If you want to know how to do it, that was a free ticket right there. Master the pre-sale. And there's a course for that coming this summer, but master the pre-sale.
Y'all, master the pre-sale. That's what he said. You do not have to have product in hand to push the product, especially if you are a person of integrity. Now, for some of y'all be like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this as a..." Nah, this ain't no hustle. This is true business. We work in integrity, and you already know. Look, it's okay to be ratchet Christian. You ain't got to figure it all out. Some of us, like myself, we suffer from how did Neo say it? Paralysis of I forgot how the word
Analysis?
he was saying that it was about when you got to make it perfect, you paralyze yourself.
Yeah. I know he's talking about paralysis of analysis.
Paralysis of analysis. Yes.
Yeah.
Stop it. That is killing your dreams. All right, y'all. So again, I just want to thank you, Mike, for giving us all of this free game that you've given us right now. Let me make certain to pull up the for those that are watching, please, and those that are listening to the podcast, that y'all gotta follow him on Instagram. Everything is right there. The book, you can get it. I think he even got the link to his son's new book. You can click a couple and you can get to that as well. But it's Dr. D-R-M-E Carter, D-R-M-E-C-A-R-T-E-R on Instagram. So I want to thank you again for being our guest today, dropping all of the jewels. Y'all, I usually don't show y'all because it look all crazy, but I got notes. This page right here was blank, but I got notes full of stuff. My questions look all kind of crazy because I've been doing a lot of just thank you. I thank you so much for this one. I got to go apply. I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm going to start what you said, 15 minutes. I'm going to set me a timer to, what was the word that you used? We are deloading. Starting tonight, I will be deloading for 15 minutes, and I'm looking forward to having a peaceful rest and be able to wake up and do it again and be on beast mode. So again, y'all, this has been the Faith, Fitness, and Flow podcast. Let him know. All right, slide in his DM, go on the next post that he make, let him know that you've listened on the Faith, Fitness, and Flow podcast, and go get your book, all right? We got those. Go hard. Get your book. It's your boy, Mr. All In. This has been a certified interview with the one and only, the myth, the man, the legend, Dr. Carter. And we out this thing, y'all. Peace.